Yeah.
Ok, muy bien. Hoy en la clase vamos a introducir por primera vez, for the very first time, double object pronouns. Double object pronouns, okay? But before we do that, we do need to do a little repasito of IOPs and DOPs, okay? Do you remember when I was a total punk in Spanish 1? And you guys would put the right DOP in there, and I'd say, well, what's the question that it's answering? Do you remember this?
Yep.
Okay, and I was a total punk, and you're like, why does she make me do this? That is because when we start putting DOPs and IOPs together, and there's not a bright blue arrow, like on VHL, pointing to, this is the DOP and this is the IOP, when you have to identify them yourself, you're going to need a strategy to identify them. Okay? So let's review just very quickly. We have IOPs. What does IOP stand for?
Indirect object pronoun.
An indirect object pronoun. Now you know what that means, right?
Yes.
Indirect object pronouns. Indirect object pronouns, they're pronouns that take the place of a
Noun.
Right? A noun. And they answer the questions for whom or to whom. Okay? For whom or to whom. They answer the questions. Repeat it. For whom?
For whom.
Or to whom?
To whom.
Okay? Now, we have repite. Me.
Me.
Te.
Te.
Le.
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 Nos.
Nos.
Os.
Os.
Les.
Les.
Okay? May can either be to me or for me. Te can be to you or
For
you. Okay? Before we continue on, let's think about this. What are some verbs, some very common verbs that go with IOPs? Tyler, think about this. What are some common verbs, Tyler Gladden, open your eyeballs, that go with IOPs? When's the first time you saw IOPs?
Gustar.
Gustar, right? All of our gustar verbs. Interesar, aburrir, molestar, fascinar. Okay? The movies are interesting to whom? To me. The class is boring to whom? To him.
Me. Oh.
Right? It answers the question to whom. Okay? Now let's look at for whom. ¿Cómo se dice to give to buy?
Comprar.
Comprar. Now, comprar is a tricky one because it could go with a DOP or an IOP. If you use it with an IOP, what are you saying?
Who did you buy it for?
I buy candy. For whom do I buy candy?
For you.
For the class.
That's nice.
Okay? How about dar? ¿Qué significa dar?
To give.
To give. Okay? The teacher gives the test to whom?
To the
To the
students.
students. To them. To them. Okay? Are there any other verbs that you can think of that go with an IOP? How about to say or to tell? How do you say to say or to tell? Decir. Decir. You might want to be making a little list here of verbs that commonly go with IOPs. That would be a great idea. Okay? The children tell a story to whom? To the teacher. You don't say the children tell the story teacher. The children tell the story to the teacher. Okay? So let's go ahead and do our very first example here. Okay? How do you say the children?
Los niños.
Los niños. Los niños. And actually we need to practice our preterite. So how do you say the teacher or the children told a story?
Los niños.
Los niños. What's the verb to tell a story? Contar. We're going to use contar this time. Contar. Contar. And so contaron. Okay. How about if they tell, instead of a lie or stories, they could tell lies? Should they, or they could tell what? Contaron.
Stories.
Cuentos. And to whom are they going to tell the stories?
The grandparents.
A los abuelos. Okay, so when we are identifying the IOP, what's the first thing you need to find? Step number 1, identify the verbo. You need to identify the verbo. Okay, so what is the verb? Contaron. Contaron is your verb. Now, ask yourself, to whom did they contaron or for whom did they contaron? To whom did they tell a story?
Grandparents.
A los abuelos. So you are going to circle this. Okay? In every single one of your homework assignments, you are going to circle the IOP. You're going to circle it. Okay? Los niños contaron cuentos a los abuelos. Now, which one of our IOPs would we substitute there? Lace. Okay, so, step 1. What could I replace los niños with if I wanted to? Ellos contaron, they told cuentos. To whom did they tell these cuentos?
A los abuelos.
Lace. And where does the lace go?
Before
The conjugated verb. Ellos les contaron cuentos. Bien? ¿Todo bien? Okay. Now, let's look at our DOPs. DOPs are direct object pronouns. And they answer the questions what? What questions do direct object pronouns answer?
What or who?
Who or what? Or what or who? Okay? Sorry, I can't find my red marker, so I might have to use blue. When I'm doing what? How about the verb? How do you say to help?
Ayudar.
Ayudar is to help. How about to see? Ver. To see is ver. How about to have? Oh, we don't know that one in the preterite. Let's do to buy again. Comprar. How about to order that we've seen in this chapter? To order.
Pedir.
Pedir. Pedir. Okay? Pedir. So, Miss Leonetti helped. Who did she help? Me. Me, when you're talking about who, is going to be me. Okay? The teacher helped. Who did she help? You. Te is going to be you. Now, what is lo going to mean when we're talking about who for the DOP?
He, she, or you form.
I saw Dave Matthews at Starbucks. Who did I see?
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews. I saw him. Him. Okay? Him. I would never say I saw to him. You say I saw him. That's how you know it's a direct object. Okay? What would la mean in this case?
Her.
Her. What would nos be?
Us.
Us.
Us. Nos is going to be us. And we had a couple of these erased.
My apologies.
What? No, that's not your fault. No worries. What do we need for our last two? Os. Os. Then what?
Los and
Los and
Los.
las. Now, for these ones and these ones, how do you know whether to use los or las or lo or la?
It's
The gender of
masculine and feminine.
the gender of the direct object. Okay. Os is going to be
You guys.
you guys. Okay. And los and las is both going to mean them. Them. Okay? Them. Okay? Now, for the what, when we're answering the question what, will you ever have may?
No.
No, you're not going to have it. Are you ever going to use te?
No.
No. How about lo and la?
Yes.
What do they both mean? It. I bought markers. What did I buy? Markers. I bought them. Okay? Them. And your them is going to be right here. Are you ever going to use nos or os?
No.
Not when you're answering the question what. Okay? Are there any questions just on the basic DOPs versus IOPs? Anybody? Okay, so again, we go back to our sentence that contains a DOP and an IOP, and it's not labeled which is which. So our step number 1, Aurora, was to do what? What do you have to find first?
The verb.
Find the verb. Contaron. They told stories. Okay? Contaron. They told. To whom did they tell those stories? To their abuelos, we said. Okay? To their abuelos. Now, how do I find the DOP?
What did they tell?
What did they tell? And what would your answer be?
Stories. Cuentos.
Cuentos. So we're going to box it. Cuentos. Cuentos. Okay, we're going to box it. Is the color okay on there? Is it light enough in here that you're able to see the board? Okay, perfect. Okay, now, what would you substitute for cuentos? Los. Now, everybody, one rule that you need to write down is that people are more important than things. People are more important than things. Okay? So when I tell you that the person is more important than the thing, is the IOP or the DOP going to come first?
IOP.
The IOP. The IOP will always go first and then the DOP. Okay? So let's go back up to our example. Ellos. Now what's going to come next? Les. Okay, and that's our IOP. What did we say we were going to substitute for cuentos? Los. And what are we going to do to los?
Box it.
Box it. It's the DOP. We're going to box it. And then, what's our verb?
Contaron.
Contaron. Look at this. We just turned this whole long sentence into this. And technically, we could leave off the personal pronoun if we wanted to. However, ellos les los contaron. Les los sounds bad. Okay? So, repeat after me. You can't lace los. That was so lame. You can't lace los.
You can't lace los.
You have to say los.
You have to say los.
Whenever you have two L's in a row like this, they don't like the way it sounds. So the IOP is going to change from lace to say. They told them, meaning stories, to whom? To the grandparents, to them. Are we all right? Okay, let's try another one. Número 2.
I have a question.
Dime, una pregunta.
What if it was, so if it was instead of to your abuelos, what if it was just to you, and it was telos, but that's fine?
It is, because it's not two L's.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Okay? ¿Cómo se dice waiter?
Camarero.
El camarero. Okay, let's do another one. El camarero. El camarero. Served. How do you say served?
Servir.
The camarero, he served.
Oh.
Sirvió. Sirvió. Served. What's he going to serve?
Beefsteak. Oh, beefsteak.
El bistec. To whom is he going to serve it?
To me.
To who? To you?
See.
Okay, to you. How do you say to you? Well, me is to me. Do you want it to say to me?
Sure. T.
A me or a ti, either one, it doesn't matter. Me. Okay, to me. So, step number 1, when we're trying to identify which is the indirect object and which is the direct object, what do? Roger, what do we have to locate?
We have to locate what's happening to someone.
Pay attention, hombre, you're totally spacing off. Number 1, Christensen, what do?
Verb.
We find the verb. Where's the verb?
Servio.
Servio, I like it. Let's underline the verb. Servio, we're going to underline the verb. Servio. Okay. The waiter served. Now, to identify the IOP, Bogdan, what question do I ask?
Who or to whom or for whom?
To whom or for whom did he serve? To whom or for whom did he serve? And, Liz, what would your answer be? Me. He served it to whom? To me. To me. Awesome. You guys are rocking it. Okay? So now let's rewrite this, substituting out the IOP. Okay? So what could I say instead of El Camarero if I wanted to shorten it up? El. With an acento. El. He, what did he do? Servió. He served. El beefsteak. To whom did he serve that beefsteak? To me. And how do you say to me? Do we need an ame?
No.
May. Because if we look up here, may means to me. Okay? And where are you going to put that may? Before the conjugated verb. Okay? El may sirvió el bistec. Now I want to get rid of my direct object. So Sam, what question, when I say he served, what question am I going to ask to find out what the direct object is? You don't know? Okay, well let's look over at our diagram. DOPs answer 2 questions. What are they? What and who? So he served who? Can you say that? No, hopefully you're not serving a person on a platter, okay? So let's skip right over that one and say what? And Sam, what is the answer? What did he serve? The steak, LB steak. So we're going to box LB steak. And what would you substitute LB steak for, Martin?
Low.
Low. Why did you say low?
Because
What does it mean?
it.
It. And why'd you pick low instead of law? Because law could also be it.
Because steak is masculine.
I like it. Muy bien, hombre. All right, now the tricky part. L. Are you going to put your IOP or DOP first? IOP, why?
Because people are more important than things.
People are more important than things. So L, may, low, sirvió. He served it to whom? To me. Yes.
If the DOP is talking about a person, though, so it's both the IOP and the DOP are for people, then which would go first? Still the IOP?
Always the IOP. The IOP will always go first. Okay. Let's do another example. Let's do, can I write down here? Will you guys still be able to see? One more example here?
Yep.
Okay. How about, los clientes pidieron el postre para los los jóvenes en el restaurante. Now I added some extra detail in here. This is where it's going to get a little bit more difficult when we start adding details. Because now there's not just two nouns and you can be like, oh, this one's got to be the IOP, this one's got to be the DOP, right? Okay, so step number 1, Jordan, what do we do?
Find the verb.
I like it. Find the verb. And what's our verb?
Pidieron.
Pidieron. What does pidieron mean?
They ordered.
They ordered. Okay? Now, let's first find our IOP. What questions do I need to ask to find the IOP? For whom or to whom? So, Cunningham, they ordered. To whom did they order or for whom did they order?
For whom?
And what would your answer be?
Los jóvenes.
Los jóvenes. Now, can we try to do this in one step this time?
Yes.
Okay. Let's find our DOP now. Roger, here we go. Look alive. Pidieron. They ordered. Who did they order? Or what did they order? What did they order? And what would your answer be? What did they order? The dessert. Does in el restaurante even matter? No, it's just additional information. Okay? They ordered dessert for the young people. Okay? What did they order? Dessert. Okay? Now, let's work on simplifying this. Trace Morton, are you ready? Okay, what could I simplify los clientes to? Ellos. They. What comes first, the DOP or the IOP?
The IOP.
The IOP comes first. And what IOP are you going to substitute out for los jóvenes? Les. Ellos, les. And then what comes next?
Low.
Okay, low. Why did you pick low? What is it?
It's a DOP.
It's the DOP. Les low. Oops. And then our verb, pidieron. In el restaurante, blah, blah, blah. Do you agree?
No.
Why?
Because there's 2 L's.
There's 2 L's. You can't lace low. You have to
Say low.
say low. Say low. Okay? Okay? Say low. Bien? Are we getting there? Okay, let's add an infinitive construction just for fun. Dime.
If you have a singular IOP like lay, would it still be say?
Okay, let's do one of those and let's see. ¿Cómo say you say the cook?
El Cuco.
El Cuco. No, this is not one that you can just add an O at the end.
No, it's closer.
Unfortunately, no. Okay,
Oh,
the
shit,
cook. How do you
Fanny.
say the cook?
El Cuco.
How do you say the kitchen?
El Kitchen.
How do you say the kitchen? La cocina. Muy bien. La cocina is the kitchen. El cocinero.
Is the chef.
El cocinero. What did he do? Huh?
Baked a pie.
Sirvió. Or made. Let's say hizo. Hizo. What's he gonna make? Una sopa. Para el perro. The cook made a soup. For whom did he make that soup?
The dog.
For the dog.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay, so step number 1, we have to identify the verb. And what is the verb, Liz? Hizo. He made. He made. Okay. How do I find the IOP, Sam McKinnon? We find the verb, hizo, and what questions you have to ask? To whom or for whom? Now, to whom or for whom did he make that soup? For whom did he make it? And for whom did he make it? For the dog. Okay, don't say he made the dog in the soup. That would be sad. Okay, so el perro is going to be our DOP or our IOP? IOP, so we're going to circle it. Okay? Now, what did he make, Miss Blaison? A soup. Yeah, a soup. You're good. No worries. He made a soup. Okay? Now we're going to rewrite this with a double object pronoun. Okay? So we're going to start with el cocinero. Or we could say el. Where's our verb? Hizo. Not all of you at once. El hizo. He made. Okay. Does the DOP or the IOP go first?
IOP.
IOP. What IOP are you going to substitute for el perro?
Lay.
Lay. What IOP would you substitute for sopa? What? Lower la. La. Can you lay la? No, you have to say la. Are we kind of getting okay with this?
Yes.
Yes. Yo voy a llevar a los estudiantes unos dulces el viernes. A lot of information there, huh? Yo voy a llevar, I am going to bring a los estudiantes, to the students, unos dulces, some candies or some sweets, el viernes, on Friday. Okay? Now, underline your verb. Now, when I say underline your verb, I want you to underline the entire construction. What is your verb going to be this time? Voy a llevar. Because we can never put it in the middle, even if it is a riddle, never put it in the middle. Do you remember that?
Yep.
When we say never put it in the middle, what we mean is you can never separate this right here. The ear plus a plus the infinitive, right? Okay? I am going to bring. To whom am I going to bring? To los estudiantes. What am I going to bring? El viernes or unos dulces?
Unos dulces.
Unos dulces. So we box it. And when am I going to bring them? El viernes. Does that matter?
No.
Not so much. Now, I want you to put your double object pronouns before the conjugated verb. You try to rewrite this one yourself. So Gladden, look down at your paper and write it down. Don't look up here. Don't cheat.
Cheating, it's in my mind.
No, I want it to be on your paper, not just on your mind.
On your mind.